Welcome to the new series focusing on the ring. So the end game. How do we get there? What are the final days or weeks of a server like? I don't know if this is going to be daily log, maybe every few days, just to give you an update of where we are on the map. So we can see on our server 4, that everybody is now in a position where they're getting around this ring area, and we have I think Mordor soon to take Withered Gardens, and then everybody will be in a position near enough around to fight for this ring. What is happening? Well, Lothlorien pushed over towards the west, and at the same time Gondor managed to their Rohan allies handed over a territory so that Gondor could pump up and start going towards the ring, and possibly to help them because they were facing a pushback from Lothlorien. This is one of our key locations over here. So the Undead's Keep here, the last step probably towards the ring, is kind of an important contested area. It was Rohan was surrounding it, then the Lothlorien have pushed up into it, and then slowly I think yesterday you can see this red line. This is where Gondor had set up their defense line across here. There is a current pushback by the Lothlorien elves, who are pushing the Gondor front line back to this line over here. We can see it's interesting. It's going around down to here as well. And yeah, interesting. We can see, I imagine they will stop at some stage. It's going to be one of those World War I-esque trench lines, push and give. We push them back to there, the next day we log on, they're probably back to here, and then back, and then back, and then back. But it's an interesting battle. I think Gondor and Lothlorien probably have the biggest forces and the biggest fellowships on the server, so it's probably going to come down to this continuous fight, I would suspect, as Gondor pushes more troops up here. They only took this region very recently over here, and they've got to push their defensive lines up to the Undeeps. So what happened to the AI, you may be asking? Well, Angmar were surrounded a while ago. I think the time is just wait until there's enough armies here and commanders leveled up to try and take these 45 level 50 armies down. At the same time, they have stopped spawning in this area. And most of Gundabad, I think I commented on another video, they seem to be sort of like over here somewhere, sending over reinforcements across, maybe a bit further down. Maybe they're over here. Oh, I saw some red there. Yeah, some chieftains and some grunts and some units are here. I don't know if these were here and we just didn't kill them, which is a possibility, because they were Gundabad, the dwarves kind of stopped there and then headed up to the northern city, and Lothlorien surrounded the city, the elves around, and blockaded. So the stuff in the middle has been left. So I don't know if it's just activated and they have just been slowly just fighting a little bit down here. But there's nothing been going on around here. The Angmar bases from all over there have sent troops, so you can also see there's Overseer and Chieftain armies here. So there's 15 level 35 armies before we get to the 45 level 50 armies, and then we've got to siege it down. So I mean, it's easier to get around and to control them, but taking that city is going to be a problem. How about the rune? I have been disappointed, and I don't understand how the AI mechanism works. And I know in other servers, rune have been just as damaging as the Angmar, but on ours, I don't know if somebody's just turned the AI intellect off. I'm not sure. Remember, ages ago in the Angmar videos, I said that rune had pushed their forces here. They just allowed Mordor to place their forts here. They allowed Mordor to take the city, and they've also allowed Mordor, I think, to start attacking some of these. They're just sat there doing nothing. At the same time, coming in from this back gate that we looked at before, there has been no pushback to the Mordor forces that are infiltrated and sneaking through here. They're just left in peace. And even to the city, I noticed last time, there are Mordor bases here. So they've just made keeps around the capital, and the AI has done nothing. And it's a small city, so I'd imagine whenever they want to, they can just destroy that themselves. It's only a level 25 keep. So it's a bit crazy, and at the same time, the dwarves have just declared war. Erebor's gone to war, and they are going to take. They've taken this crossing, and they are also moving down towards Kinland over here, and they have already started surrounding the city, and the AI is doing nothing. So I am confused. I am confused how you can make one AI so aggressive and hostile and just a pain. It took us days. You saw the 2-day battle that the dwarves had to take Gundabad. You saw the war over 4 days or so for the elves to push up and then finally surround the city. These were intense fights, and over here, absolutely nothing. So it's a bit weird. But there we go. It's looking like the Erebad will take over Kinland sort of like very soon, or surround it and then destroy it. And the Lothlorien have surrounded Khan Doom, and it looks like the same will happen. That's going to be interesting towards the end game, because remember, once the ring is taken, that does not finish the game. You then have to control 3 capital cities, so it will be a bonus for Erebor and for Lothlorien that they will be able to probably get an easy one from the AI, so they will have that one plus their own, so then they'll be looking at easily taking one other faction if they can to fully win. And as predicted, however long ago this was, I'm not entirely sure, did they pull back or did they get defeated? I was distracted because I'm paying attention to a different front. But this has gone back to Gondor, and we're seeing a lot of armies going back over here. So I'm guessing it was a siege, and they attacked and they killed some armies. So yeah, it's back to the beginning, sort of like from yesterday. Gondor approaching towards the city, probably rebuild some forts here, hold this position, and then I'm gonna guess they will try and push, and then I will expect CZSK, plenty of troops there, that they will push back, and this will go on for a while. And who knows? This could be it for the rest of the server. I think maybe this back and forth war. I mean, it's hard felt, man. In the world chat, I've never seen so much. I mean, I think this game always brings out the I want to say the worst or the competitive side of people, but there's definitely saltiness on both sides. We have some pretty big action over the last couple of days. Well, pretty much now, but we've all kind of known about it for a couple of days. So what has happened is, remember we were looking yesterday, and I said it would be a bit of a push backwards and forwards on here. But what has happened is Gondor have done quite well. I'm going to try and be quite neutral here. I apologize if viewers are coming in and say, oh, there's a little bit biased there. I'm going to try and keep it neutral. If I do say something, I comment or whatever. But yeah, Gondor have played a very good political game. I said they were allied to Rohan at the beginning, and what happened was the elves and the dwarves had an agreement and an alliance, and Gondor and Rohan had an agreement and alliance. I think Mordor and Isengard were a little bit kept out of everything for a while. So and I said they were struggling a little bit for members. A lot of people kind of left the server, left them low on numbers. So you kind of have these two blocks. What's happened is the dwarves have decided to go against, cancel the alliance, and have organized the group to try and get all of the other 5 factions to fight the elves at the same time. So it's distracted those elven forces who have sort of like had to redeploy on three sides currently. So they are fighting Rohan here, they're fighting Gondor here, and the dwarves have moved up here to go for the Elven Kings, which should actually be interesting, because I think if they take Elven Kings, it will kickstart the server progress, which will go into the ring, and then we get into that bit of why we're making this video, to see this quest for the ring, the alliances, the scheming, the conniving, what happens with these people. So yes, it is all going to kick off. I'm told, well, like I said, I already knew for a few days that the plan is organized by, I'm not entirely sure, I've only seen screenshots from Marth and the Dwarves. but like I said, I'm sure the whole lot of people were involved, and I've also heard from him that people have been sending him death threats about this. And I just want to highlight at this stage, guys, this is a game. This is a game. Please, there is no need for that type of thing in the game. Like, seriously, don't let your emotions get out of hand. Don't go crazy. Don't be too salty. Fair enough, be a bit feisty in the chat. You know, oh, the dwarves, oh, the elves are gonna die. Oh, let's come. Fair enough, but let's not lower ourselves to ridiculous. It's beyond the ridiculousness of trolls and online bullies. You know, there's no place in online games for that type of behavior. So I do appeal, if you're watching this video, if you see that sort of action, please, you know, even if they're on your side, message them, get them, you know, just either try and get them to calm down, try and to think about what they're saying, or try and take action. And we need to make sure that these players are either reconditioned, rehabilitated, or highlighted. You know, we need to make sure, report them. I'm sure devs will not tolerate that type of action. They will be taken off the server and probably banned. So yeah, just a note of warning, please don't let it get too personal. And I'm sure he wasn't the only one. I'm sure there was a group. It takes more than one to tango. So yeah, but back to how things are going. So we've had this agreement, planned agreement by the dwarves, planned by a group to have all 5 factions sort of like attack the elves at the same time. Sort of Isengard pushing up here, reclaiming territory. Rohan pushing here, reclaiming territory. Mordor to sweep up, take the Withered Gardens and move over to Dol and start killing the forts around the ring, and Erebor to push into Elven King. So it's kind of like a triple, well, like a quintuple push from all sides, and it's pretty effective. It is pretty effective. I mean, they do have a lot of numbers and a lot of power, because obviously we're talking about the largest factions from each one, and they managed to push back mainly CZSK, HLD, DGLS. I don't think we had any people over there because we've tended to scout and be way more focused on the left wing. So yeah, they just overrun it. They managed to push the CZSK back. I think they will probably fortify bunker and will take that city. I would expect today.